What the heck is this guy doing this morning? Listen, today is Saturday, May 28th. It's Memorial Day weekend, and it's been 4 weeks since I ran my Montana Spartan Ultra race in Big Fork. And 8 weeks from today, I'll be towing the start line at a ski resort outside Ogden, Utah on July 17th to do my second Spartan Ultra race for the year. What does that mean? It means hard work, drudgery, and consistency for the next 8 weeks. 6 weeks will be really hard. The final 2 weeks will be tapering. So to kick off the training block, we're gonna take our adventure mobile Chevy Colorado ZR2 with the GoFastCamper that I've now christened Finleigh. And we're gonna head out to the Mount Adams area after my run. I'm doing 15 miles this morning at a trail by my house. So we're gonna head up to Mount Adams, see if we can find a dispersed camping site. The wife and I will go hiking. I'm gonna use the GoRuck plate to hike this afternoon to add some more volume, strength training to the program. So it'll be topped off with hopefully a sweet dinner of steak and red wine. And then Sunday morning, repeat process. Monday morning will be a recovery day. And we're gonna try driving across the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest. We don't know what the route's gonna be like. Doesn't matter, we're prepared. We're gonna try to get to the lake to do some fishing, some paddle boarding and kayak. And then we're gonna top the weekend off by stopping off at a brewery out in the middle of the woods, get some pizza and beer. So come along. If you wanna check out how I train for these Spartan Ultras and just check out some cool mountains, some cool scenery, yeah. So I've ran the Utah Beast Race 2 years ago before COVID shut everything down, and that venue is gorgeous. But the problems with that venue are that it's at probably 8,000 feet altitude, and I'm probably about 400 feet altitude right now, sea level. So I'm gonna be dealing with altitude issues. So going forward, my training, I'm gonna be seeking out higher altitudes on the weekends, taking Finleigh out for some adventures and just doing high altitude for Southwest Washington. And yeah, the other problem with the Utah venue is exposure. It's above the tree line, and you get no reprieve from the sun. It's mid-July, and the sun is the nemesis of the Scotch Irish. So I'll probably end up deploying SPF 70 and what I like to call the terrorist hat. So yeah, that's what I'm up against. So the next 8 weeks are gonna be nothing but mountains, miles, heavy carries, and grip strength. All right, let's get after it. Got my 15 miles in, and the training strategy for this run was just to keep my heart rate down in that zone 2, not to exceed 143 beats per minute. If I start getting up there, I just stop and hike. So I got Finleigh already preloaded. Our last trip I learned how much a pain in the ass loading everything in the back of the truck is, so I got my deck system installed. If you're interested in that, video somewhere up in here. And we should be bugging out to the Mount Adams Ranger District, somewhere in the shadows south of Adams, so come along. All right, this is the terrorist hat, and we bushwhacked to an established trail from our dispersed camping site. So my recon and scouting on the maps paid off. And so now we pretty much, I think, got this whole trail to ourselves, and behind me is Mount Adams. Let's go see if we can get a good look of it, okay? guys. It's 8:32 a.m. on Sunday morning, and we had an interesting night. We got into that tent, and the paddleboard and the kayak on top of it was just a little bit too much weight for it. So once we got in there, the tent wanted to come back down, so we had to get out and take the paddleboard and kayak off. So we've learned a lesson there. Like, if you only do two watercraft if you're going to actually camp at a lake and take it off. So we're going to try to move this morning and find a lake. Hopefully we can find a camp spot, being Memorial Day weekend. So I was looking at the map this morning, and I got a few options picked out. So we're going to drive there later, but right now I want to get a little morning workout in. So I'm just going to run up and down this road and maybe do some other stuff with the rucksack, some like squats and push presses and that kind of stuff. So I don't know how long I'm going to go for. I want to go for at least an hour. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's go get after it. About 35 minutes into this workout, and so right now I got the 30-pound GoRuck plate in the back. I'm gonna walk down. What I'm doing is I'm doing a quarter mile down, turn around, back uphill. It's a slight grade, it's nothing too much, but we are at like 3,500 feet. And, I mean, I'm not feeling super good this morning, which is exactly what I want. So I want to train in a fatigued, bad state. So on this loop, I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna try some different exercises along the way, some natural exercises. And as I get back to the top of the route, I ended up incorporating, like, you know, push-ups, shoulder presses, bear crawls, that kind of stuff. So one of the things that you know, I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately, and they advertise, and I've been getting this Peloton and this Nordic Track commercial where they show these, you know, fitness models. They're gorgeous, and they're like in their room or their cage, wherever they're at. They're inside a room, and there's a mirror screen on the wall, and there's like something they're watching. There's a fitness instructor or something, and they're bouncing around in their room, exercising. And it just makes me sick looking at that. I just think this is the gym you need right here. You know, whether it's an urban environment or a, you know, a wilderness environment, get outside. Don't be sitting in that room. I think they're just trying to sell you some expensive stuff, and of course they market it with like these people that look great, and they may be mere muscles and not, you know, go muscles. I say I want go muscles, not show muscles. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing out here, is just training to go across the terrain. And yeah, you don't need any of that fancy stuff. Who knows how much that stuff costs too. I don't know, I just think it's a big gimmick that they're trying to sell people, and I don't know, I don't like it. So I'm gonna walk down here. I have an Atlas stone, a stone I picked out. Hopefully I can lift it. That's one of the Spartan obstacles. And then on the way back, I'm gonna find a log to flip, and maybe we can find something else. Already this morning, I encountered a black-tailed buck in velvet jump the road. So that was kind of nice. Yeah, so we'll get down here and do this Atlas stone. So that is a stone I picked out. We'll see if I can lift it. I don't know. So the Atlas stone is an obstacle. It's just a big heavy stone. You pick it up and you got to walk at a set distance around a flag. In the old days, you had to stop at the flag, drop the stone, do 5 burpees, walk it back. Now they're just having you do a loop around the flag. And so on my second Spartan race, not knowing what the hell I'm doing and not in as good a shape as I am right now, I was in Utah under just brutal heat conditions, being an idiot. I didn't bring any nutrition and I didn't bring any water bottles, and I just bonked at like mile 7 in an 8-mile race. It was horrible. But along that race, I did the Atlas stone, and there's a technique to it, and I screwed the technique up, and the stone slipped out of my hands and rolled back and smashed, basically broke this finger, smashed this finger up. So yeah, you want to be careful with it. There's a technique to it. So let's see what happens this morning. Ah, yeah, too heavy. Too heavy. I'll throw my back out. So that's a fail. That's a fail. So that thing's way heavier than the Atlas stone in the race, and I don't want to risk throwing my back out. So yeah, or dropping it on my toes or my hands. So we're going to continue on. I'll find some other stuff. Maybe I can find a smaller stone along the way that I could use. The gym, the world forgotten. So there's not a lot of stones. So a lot of dead logs around here. So little log flip's a good little exercise. Not as heavy as that stone. So yeah, man, I just got 3 miles in, and probably about 45 minutes into this ordeal. I'm gonna continue on. It's super hot. I thought it'd be cooler this morning, so I picked the inappropriate clothing, and I'm paying for it. And also, I think I was a little dehydrated. I didn't want to drink a lot of water before I went to bed, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna continue on, just keep doing this workout, but you get an idea. All you need is a cheap pair of rubber gloves to bring along with you, and you can pretty much take anything out here in the real world and use it as an implement of strength training. So, you know, I live out here in Washington State, and the governor has locked everything down due to the COVID pandemic. My gym was closed, which was an all right gym, but the reason I really went to that gym was the other gym members, not the gym owner, and that got cut off immediately. So I started training what I call Rocky IV style training out of my garage, and I plan on doing a future video of what I use in my garage for Spartan training. 1 hour, 15 minutes, just over 5 miles of running or training. A lot of running, a little hiking, a little whatever. So I'm not worried about pace or speed. It's just about putting volume on my feet, time on my feet, putting another brick in the foundation. Yeah. Okay, guys, hope you're enjoying this. And after this, we're gonna get some good breakfast and hopefully make a hasty camp cleanup. And then we're gonna hopefully go find a cool spot along a lake somewhere. We'll find out.
for it.
There you go. You're good. You're good. Cheers, babe. Cheers. Good morning. It's Monday, Memorial Day 2021, and I'm standing here in an ancient lava field with snowpack in the shadows of Mount St. Helens and Mount St. Adams. It's pretty cool. It's rough terrain. These rocks are super sharp and tough to amble over, and if you fall, you're probably going to need some Band-Aids. Yesterday didn't go as planned. We had wanted to move from our original camp spot to a lake to hopefully do some kayak and paddle boarding, fishing, and so we went to a campground. I kind of knew this wasn't going to work out, but what the heck, you got to give it a shot. And there was just tons of people there since it's a holiday weekend, and it was pretty much the beaten path. And so we decided to get off the beaten path. We were driving to Forlorn Lakes and encountered some snowpack, and we're about 4,000 feet altitude. But you know, there's some tire tracks through it. It was kind of more like drifts, so I was kind of busting through them. And I eventually encountered a spot where there was a truck that was stuck and a couple other guys in just souped up four-wheel drives. There's a Jeep Gladiator and a Toyota with like the big tires and all that kind of stuff. That's what they're into. They're just out ripping around through the stuff. And at that point I said, hey, I'm going to turn around. So heading out, I got stuck, and of course the off-roaders came through and were more than happy to yank me out. I had a kinetic rope. The guy with the Jeep Gladiator yanked me out. I had tried getting myself out with traction boards and shoveling, which I could have done. Probably would take me a half hour, but yeah, I basically got high centered on the snow, and I didn't have enough momentum to bust through it. So that was some excitement. And so we tried to drive to Carson, Washington on this road, and encountered more snowpack. The road's not passable, so we just turned around and tucked in off the side of the road for a camping spot. So yeah, our plans went a little awry yesterday, but it's all good. And had some nice wine and some steak dinner last night. And this morning we're going to either go do a hike or maybe some paddle boarding or kayaking. We'll see what my wife feels like. I'm having a sense we'll probably go hiking. followed up with some micro brews and pizza somewhere out here. I got a route I picked out on the map. It's a road I've never been on, and so we're going to hopefully drive on that and get back down to the Columbia River. So hopefully you're enjoying this little adventure. I was hoping to do more training, but I still got a lot of work in with Saturday's long run and then that afternoon hike. And then yesterday morning, I got a little bit of work. And so we might do a little hiking today, and I hope so, put some more miles on. And it's just a beautiful day out here. So yeah, come along. Let's see what happens next.
Cheers. You survived. Good weekend.
Survived the mile.
Survived the weekend.